Good morning, ladies, and anyone else who's watching. Uh, we're going to look at reflection number 2 today. So, the first thing, we're just going to do a layout of what should be in it, and I'll explain. So, the first thing that you should have, or the first thing that you should do, is identify the genre of each of your sources. The genre is basically prose, poem, or drama. So, we know that prose is anything written, article, story, that's a prose. Poem, we know what a poem is already. Drama can be a music video that you picked, anything that a play for theater. So we know what drama is. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that you're going to classify each of your sources. So you're going to identify if your source is an article, advertisement, brochure, play, novel, etc. Just classify it. The third thing now is where you identify the writing style of each of your sources. So the writing styles are persuasive, expository, descriptive, narrative. So persuasive quickly is where you seek to literally persuade or convince someone. So if your article or your video, whatever you have, seeks to persuade, then you know it's persuasive. Expository is explaining, to inform. So if that's what your article, or your source does, that's what it is. Descriptive is to describe, to literally describe a subject, event, person. Right, so if that's what your source does, then it's descriptive. Narrative writing is essentially a story. So if you have a story, you know that it is a narrative piece. So you classify each of your sources as well. Now the next step is where problems sometimes come in, where we identify a tool that we use to analyze our sources. Now, the writing tool can be where you look at the formal and informal registers, or you use descriptive language. So you look at the descriptive language in the expository piece, for example, or you look at the narrative voice that's used in the narrative writing. You look at the diction that's used in the descriptive piece. So that's how you use that. Now, a lot of you looked at registers, the formal and informal, and uninformal, we have casual and intimate. So a lot of you looked at that particular aspect. Now, what is happening is that you're not analyzing based on what is a formal and informal register. So the formal and informal register, ladies, is where is the use of basically use of words. So for example, contractions are used in the informal register to denote casualness, while you have complete sentences, use of particular words and phrases that point to the use of the formal register. Now, these are geared towards particular audiences. So the informal register, or the casual or intimate, is for people that you know. So as stated in this book, the casual register is more spontaneous, and it is used for friends and family. You can even send it in emails, but personal emails. But the formal register now is intended for a formal audience, like business, like a business meeting. You're sending a business email, business letter. That's a formal register. So the problem that I'm seeing in your work, ladies, is that you're not analyzing it properly. So some of you will be using the formal and informal register in your expository piece, for example, and you're not clarifying when you get to the point where you're supposed to say, does it hinder the message? You're not using the fact, you're not isolating what is formality and what is informality, what is casual. So you're not saying to me that it is the evidence of the informal register is there because we have use of contractions, things like that, and it hinders the message or it hinders or it's up to you to decide whether it hinders or it promotes the message. But for example, if you're saying it hinders the message because based on the audience. So you identify your audience. The audience is targeted towards young people, and maybe it's a formal register, and you're saying it hinders the message because young people are more casual. So that's how you analyze that in reflection number 2. So that's what I want to see basically. After you've identified the type, after you've identified whether it's persuasive, whether your particular source is persuasive, ignore the child in the background. Whether you've identified whether it's persuasive or not, persuasive writing, you are then gonna say the casual register is used in the persuasive writing, or rather the informal register / casual is used in this persuasive piece. You give your example of it, and then you say it in this case you can say it promotes the message because it is targeting young adults, and young adults tend to be informal in their approach and would appreciate the informal register. So that's how I want to see you analyzing that particular part, meaning reflection number 2. So ladies and anyone else watching, I hope that this will be helpful to you. So I will be back with another one when I see another issue popping up in your SBAs. So have a wonderful rest of the day. Bye.